All right.
All right. What episode is this now?
44.
44.
I think. I looked it up.
I knew you would. I said, Jeremy's going to look it up. I said, I should have looked it up before, but.
Episode 44.
Yeah.
We're back.
We're back.
In
after
another new space.
Yeah, that's right. I actually like this space. I know it's downgraded, but I kind of dig it. The art's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, the hospice company definitely, for those that don't know, we sublease from a hospice company my business partner owns, and they moved again to another office.
Yes, there is.
Because they're growing, and they just needed more like individual office spaces, and so we are recording in the conference room in their new office, so it's I'm excited to be back.
Yeah, it's good.
What
our last official show is August, right?
Yeah. Was it August, really?
August, yeah.
Well, what's happened since then? I got married.
You got married, yeah. We did talk about that. How was it?
It was good.
Yeah,
we it was very windy. It was, a cold front came through right before the ceremony, and so it was like we're right off the water, so it was just like insane wind. So our videos just. But yeah, no, it was a good time. We rented the place for the whole week, as you know, and you came up, so we got to see you guys.
Yeah, it was good. It was a nice place.
We came down, I guess, because it's down in Galveston. But but yeah. So it's Married Life's going well. She's looking to get a new job. She's going to get her teaching certificate, and so she might be doing a new job, and then I might actually be going into the workforce. Yeah. Potentially, depending on if I can get enough money from those jobs to justify it, but we'll see. So
yeah, well, that's cool. No, yeah. Let's see. After you got married, we went to New York in late December, early January. Got to see my family again. It was kind of cool. It was low key because I made plans with people who were vaccinated. And it ended up being that 3 of the people that I was supposed to hang out with ended up getting sick or had a quarantine because they were with somebody who may have gotten sick.
That was around the time when everybody was getting sick. That was like right around Christmas time.
Yeah,
and holidays.
Yeah, and it was crazy. It was like I ended up not doing anything but just hanging out with my family and then going on my own. Like went into the comic shops and the movie places that I used to go to. But it was cool. It was low key. Like I said, it was more family oriented. I was with them almost every day.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no, it was cool. And that was it. And then got back in January, going back to work after a week off and stuff. So that's it. I've just been still working. And I guess that's really it. I've been watching a lot of BoobTube, when I get the chance. Mm-hmm. It's gotten really cold last week, and we ended up getting stuck in the house because it's just too cold. Mm-hmm. It kind of warmed up on Sunday, but I still was being lazy. I was like, let's just stay in and watch movies.
Nothing wrong with that.
Doing. Yeah, no, of course not. So here we are.
Yeah, we're back.
Episode 44.
We got a fair amount of movies to talk about, mostly things I've seen. Yeah. Carlos has watched a lot of stuff, but nothing that sounds like you really wanted to talk about. Yeah. And so, but we've got a fair amount of new releases mixed in here, and a few like streaming movies as well. Mm-hmm. Like the first one that we're going to talk about, which is it's called Our Friend, which is it's kind of a smaller indie film with Casey Affleck, Dakota Johnson, and I'm going to blink on his name from How I Met Your Mother, Jason Segel. Okay. Or Segel? How do you pronounce it? Because I think it's Jason Segel, right?
Segel. Yeah, Segel.
And it's essentially like an indie cancer drama. It's based on a true story about Dakota Johnson's character is a performer. I think she's a dancer. I forget. It's been a while since I've seen this, but she gets diagnosed with cancer. They have 2 kids, and Jason Segel moves in with the family in order to take care of them in her last kind of months alive. And it's pretty devastating. Yeah,
I think I know the movie you're talking about now. It's coming to my head. Yeah.
And I don't know, I actually haven't watched the trailer for it, because I tend to avoid trailers, but I don't know what the trailer pitches it as, but like I think with the cast and everything, you could definitely assume that it'd be kind of an indie drama comedy, but it's not. It's definitely more of a drama, and it's pretty wonderful. definitely one of the more memorable things on this list in terms of just, I don't know, like it stuck with me for quite some time. And I've seen a lot of like movies like this, like The Descendants, movies that are like kind of downer dramas that are about, you know, somebody that's clinging to life. But Dakota Johnson's really terrific in it, and Casey Affleck is wonderful as well, and it tells the story kind of in a non-linear structure, which I don't think was really necessary, because it kind of abandons that towards the later part of the movie, and it's just kind of like, well, I don't really understand why that was necessary, but other than that, though, I mean, I think it was it's a little too long. I think it's like 2 hours and 15 minutes or something, but it's, I don't know, there's just it's not, movies like that, or if you're in the mood for like a good cry, it's it's pretty terrific, I think, and like I said, good performances all around, and it's worth watching. It's on Amazon Prime right now.
Did you cry?
I didn't cry. Okay. But it's still.
Did you see it with Marissa?
No, I watched it by myself.
Oh, okay.
But it's played in theaters for a bit.
Yeah.
And then I just caught it on Prime, but I think it's on Amazon Prime still.
Yeah. You can because that's what I'm saying. I remember the trailer. Now that when you described everyone, then I said, "Oh wait, I remember the trailer. I remember Rhonda wanted to see it." So now that you say it's on Amazon Prime, we definitely check that out.
There's this movie inspired me to listen to. I went on a big Zeppelin kick after it because her character in the movie, I don't know about in real life, but she like loves Led Zeppelin, and Jason Segel's character it's one of the top bands I don't understand. And towards the later part of the movie, he says to her like, I found one that I like, and it's while she's about to die, and he plays "Going to California" by Zeppelin for her, and it's wonderful. So I don't know. There's some memorable things in it, and it's definitely, I don't know, it kind of changes your perspective on things when you watch a movie like that. So I thought it was pretty good, worth recommending for sure.
Definite.
And the next one on the list is Scream, the most recent one.
Yeah, no spoilers.
No spoilers. I won't spoil it. I mean, it's most of. I mean, everything's in the trailer. I don't know. I won't spoil.
Is it?
Not everything, but just. I'll just talk about the stuff that's in the trailer at least. Yeah. But essentially, somebody else is killing people. And should we even talk about this movie since you haven't seen it, or should we wait?
Yeah, let's wait. I want to see it.
It's all right. That's all I'm going to say about it.
So if you've seen them all, right?
I've seen them all, yeah.
Yeah, so where would you rank it?
I mean, the first one's really the only one that I actually enjoy. Yeah, I love the first one. But yeah, this was just kind of another addition to it. It got dumped in January too, which is not,
which
never
is funny
a good sign.
Because I know I have this. I mean, I think we've discussed this. It's like September, January are the dumping grounds for film.
Oh yeah.
But like in the past couple of years, they've changed that. And I always get confused. I always tell like Rhonda, I tell Gloriana, so it's coming out in January. I'm not going to see it. It's junk.
Yeah.
But it's like lately they've been changing that up. But now that you say it, I'm kind of like, oh, maybe that's not the case.
I mean, some of it's because of the streaming stuff, though, too.
True,
I just think that the whole release schedule is just out of whack, and some of it's because of COVID too, just because they movies got postponed and stuff like that, and so. But yeah, this it's not a stinker by any means. Like I think it's worth seeing if you like the Scream franchise. Yeah. And I don't know, it's just another Scream movie. That's kind of how I feel about it. I got you.
Did you like 4?
4 was all right. 4 was better than
better than the other two.
I think the franchises tends to be better than most other horror franchises. Yeah. I'd say. But that's just purely because it is kind of self-referential and aware of itself, and so that's always fun to some degree. And then you also have I don't know. I think it tends, because it's aware of itself. I think they tend to be a little higher level of IQ than some of these other horror movies that come out. We do have another one on this list that I think is fantastic, though, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But yeah, the Scream movie's worth watching on streaming, I'd say. Not worth going to the theater to see.
Also, so you're saying not theater, but
no, I mean, it's my brother saw it twice. I think he liked it more than I did, but yeah, it's it's all right.
All right,
it's harmless.
It's harmless.
Nothing wrong with that. Unlike Licorice Pizza, which is the next one on the list. as you know, I'm a big Paul Thomas Anderson fan.
Yeah.
He's my favorite. So, and you've seen this one, so we can actually have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
It's gotten some controversy because of a few things. Obviously, I think the main challenge with the film is it's about a 25-year-old that kind of falls in love with a 16-year-old.
16-year-old, yeah.
Which is problematic in itself. But the thing that people are actually really upset with is the racist restaurant owner character.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which we'll get into in a little bit. But I guess I'll let you intro the film since I've been talking.
Yeah. So Licorice Pizza is the latest from, as he said, PTA, Paul Thomas Anderson. And it's basically the setup is a young kid who is a bit actor in the film, and it's not a spoiler. He works on a show kind of like the Lucy Show, and if anything, oh my God, I forget her name. She did Lucy Perfect, and he also goes to school, so he's kind of grounded, which I thought was interesting because later on that kind of disappears. But in that, in the beginning of the film, it's a picture day, and he ends up meeting this older woman, young woman. She's 25.
Played by Alana Haim.
But because I don't know. Yeah, these are actors. That's another thing too, which I liked it where the bigger known actors were side characters, smaller
like Sean
characters.
Penn or Tom Waits,
and he ends up falling in, like any 16-year-old boy, he falls in love with her, even though and he pursues her, and this becomes his love throughout the film. I actually saw it on a date night, so it was really good, but anyway, it's the adventures of this boy.
Cooper Hoffman.
Is that his name?
Played by Cooper Hoffman.
Okay.
It's Philip Seymour Hoffman's son.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's why. All right, that makes sense.
I'm pretty sure it's his son. I'm going to look that up.
Yeah, he's a good-looking boy.
Yeah, he looks just like him, too.
Interesting.
Cooper Hoffman.
But yeah, so it's kind of vignettes. I mean, there's linear and there's a story, but it's
definitely the most laid back.
Yeah, because you keep coming back.
Yeah, he's the son.
He's the son, right? And the passage of time is interesting because I assume that it's over a course of a few years, but you really don't get that because
it's not the time. The setting isn't that important. The location, because it's set in the Valley, I think, which is where PTA is from, I believe, and a lot of his movies are set there. And there's definitely a passing of time because of the waterbed, all that stuff is kind of important to the plot to some degree. But I mean, it's just kind of loosely, kind of a backdrop, because I think it's like rubber. The cost of rubber goes up, and so they can't keep that, which is just a funny concept that they can't keep selling water. Back to the whole premise of it, though, he's like a child actor that's too old to still be doing a child stuff, but he's not old enough to really do like more dramatic roles, and so he's kind of jumping from job to job, and then she kind of joins him on that journey, and it's this kind of
I should turn off my phone. I forgot.
I just turned mine off. It's okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Go on. I'm sorry.
But yeah. I mean, it's just kind of a kind of delightful adventure film about these two kids that fall in love, and I mean, it's I would put it kind of in the same territory as something like what was the one he did before? Phantom Thread. I'm going to
yeah, was it Phantom Thread?
No, before he did Phantom Thread, and then he did Inherent Vice.
That's one of my favorites. Yeah.
This isn't this doesn't have as tight of a plot as that. It's definitely more loose and kind of like it's a movie about two people hanging out and going on adventures, and like there's the whole sequence where they drop off the waterbed at Bradley Cooper's house.
John Peters. That's one of my favorite. It's funny because it's like he's the only character that's like straight up somebody real. John Peters, famous producer of the 70s and 80s, and it's like I said, oh my God, I want to pull it up. The character, in the show that he's in, which Rhonda was saying, that's with Six You Get Egg Roll, which was Lucy and Golden Pond, Henry Fonda. But it's like they don't mention them straight up. Same thing with Sean Penn, who's supposed to be William Holden.
Yeah.
And I like that you don't really, they don't, I don't know why he did that, but it's like the only person he called out was John Peters. And I think Bradley Cooper stole
Yeah.
that whole scene.
It reminds me of the sequence. It's not as intense, but the sequence in Boogie Nights where they with the pop rocks and everything, and that whole sequence is just the kind of chaotic nature of that scene. This whole sequence kind of reminds me of that. They're going back downhill down. What was that?
I kicked the table.
Oh no!
Guys, I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to reposition my leg.
Oh, you're good. But yeah, they're like going downhill, like in the hills of Hollywood, and in this big moving van that they've got, which is. It's just I've seen it twice, and I liked it a lot more the second time. Just kind of once I knew kind of what it was and kind of the pacing of it. It reminds me a lot of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah. Not just because of the setting, but also just because of like they described when that movie came out. A lot of people described it as like taking place in the downtime on a film set was the way that somebody described that movie, which is I think a perfect description of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And I think it's also, this is kind of similar, that it's like it's set in this like timeless period in LA, you know. And that's what I enjoy about the film. But it's also like the first time watching it, I was just kind of like, I didn't really know what to expect from the plot, and you just never know. I knew it was a kind of a comedy, but that was about it. And so I don't know. I found myself really kind of falling in love with it the second time through.
Yeah, I fell in love with it. Yeah, I really do enjoy it. It's like Inherent Vice. Like I said, because I haven't seen Phantom Thread. It's like, but I did. But when I saw
his best, I think.
Yeah, you were telling me that you feel that's his best, and it's like, and it did give me a feel of Boogie Nights. You know, with the time setting. And I enjoyed it. I really did. And like even Rhonda liked it, and it was really good. She also liked Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is another one of my favorite Tarantino.
I haven't shown that to Marissa yet. Sometimes it's partially because it's so long, but I'm curious to see if she likes that or not. I don't know. She likes Tarantino, but she hasn't seen that or Hateful Eight, and I think that's it. I think she's like Kill Bill, maybe. I don't think she's seen.
Did she see Licorice Pizza with you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that's a great date.
And she definitely had a problem though with the age difference for sure, which is completely fair.
But she didn't. I know we talk about controversy. She didn't look 25. You know, I thought she was like when she said that. I thought she was.
Well, she's definitely immature for a 25-year-old for sure. But it's still like, you know, a little. You know, and it's not like they get together or anything, but I mean, she does. It's in the trailer. She shows her boobs to him, which is definitely inappropriate for a 25. Because Marissa, and there's an argument to be made that like she was like, Marissa was like, that's like me showing my boobs to one of my students. It's like that's fair, you know. So there's definitely that aspect of it might be challenging for people to get past, and I think that's completely fair. Now the other thing though is that racist scene that people are describing, which I just think is. I was just curious what your thoughts were on this, because people are like really outraged about this. There's been a lot of talk about that character and it being kind of I mean, I think it's just a throwaway gag that it's portraying a racist character, but but I think it's making fun of them for being ignorant. That's at least, and for those that haven't seen it, it's a character that he's a restaurant owner that has an Asian wife, and he speaks to her in English, but with an Asian accent. Because he doesn't know that that's really racist.
Exactly. Come on, we're in the early 70s, so I mean, you know what I mean? It's like,
I was just I don't quite, and that's for sure. And those people exist still.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And people just have a problem with them portraying that in general, and I'm like, but I get that.
Yeah.
And I'm curious because I don't know. I want, you know.
No, I mean, you know, we sat. It's funny. So, you know, Rhonda's Caucasian, white American, and I'm Hispanic, and it's like I am from the old school. You know, I was laughing, and Rhonda was like, "Oh, that's so racist." That's so laughing, and I said, it's not like Paul Thomas Anderson's like, oh, I hate Asians. Or I'm like, no, he's just making these characters in this time where now we say, oh my God, that's so racist. But back then it wasn't, you know. It's like, think about Mickey Rooney playing the Asian character in Breakfast at Tiffany's, which, now it's like really hard when we talk about it. But I always say, I hate racism, but at that time, I mean, that's where it was at. I mean, and I think that, it's horrible. Like even with Gone with the Wind, that's Rhonda's favorite film of all time. We had a weekend getaway for Valentine's. We went to the Gone with the Wind Museum. And it's funny because I sit there and I say, I always bugged her and say, oh, I don't want to watch that. It's a racist film. And then, when I finally watched it, I sat through it like a year ago in its entirety. I was like, this is a really good film. But unfortunately, in 1939, I mean, the way it takes place, it's racist. But back then, they didn't see it that way. Even though, yes, it is. But back then, that's the way it was. Same way him putting this character in there. Yes, I know now. But well, why would he do that now? That's racist. And I'm like, because like you said, they're kind of making fun of that.
Of a character
of the person, yeah,
and it's a criticism of racism. It's
agreed.
That's what I don't understand about it. It's like portraying a racist character. Is that not okay? And that's what I'm because like we watched Hateful Eight the other night, and like holy shit,
Janet Leigh. What's her name? Janet Leigh. But she's
all of them. Just I mean, they're dropping N-words and that is certainly set in time, and then Quentin Tarantino has been criticized for this too.
Yeah, no, that's his thing. Yeah,
I saw a meme yesterday that was like, it was him, Papa John's, Kramer, and I forget who the fourth person was, but it was like, who would say it first if you put him in a room?
Tarantino.
But like, still, it's like, I just don't. I mean, I get that people would like roll their eyes at it, like, and not find it funny because it's. But like, people walked out of the movie because of this, and I'm just like, I don't understand that. I gotta
read up on this because I didn't. I mean, when it happened, like I said, yes, I know Rhonda called my attention, but when we saw it, I'm pretty sure there was only like no. Actually, the theater was kind of half packed, which was good because the movie came out last year and we showed it in the middle of January. But people walking out because of that. I mean, I don't
get it. I was just curious what your thoughts were, but
like I said, you know me. Listen, I'm sorry, All in the Family. It's like that's what they made fun of Archie Bunker being racist, and it was so funny. But again, that was in the early '70s where this film takes place, and that's why I even think he did that.
Well, and my brother and I had this really long conversation, but he hadn't seen the film yet, and he did laugh at the scene, like he was like, God, that is racist. But him and I had this whole discussion about it, and I brought up Lucille from Arrested Development.
Yeah.
And it's like, and now that was set in 2005, and time has certainly changed since that. But I mean, that there's that great line from Arrested Development where she says something along the lines of like, there's a lot of things like when she checks their bags before their housekeepers leave every day. But there's that great line where it's like, how do you say, I know you speak English and Spanish? So I mean, but it's like
young.
It is, everything. I mean, that character is racist, but it's because she's rich. It's okay.
Yeah.
I don't quite understand the difference between like that portraying a racist character for comedy's sake because they're ignorant, and then what they're doing in Licorice Pizza. I don't understand the difference.
Yeah,
to be totally honest, because I wouldn't criticize Paul Thomas Anderson for being racist because I think he's criticizing racism. I just don't get it. Maybe I'm a straight white man.
What he's doing.
Of
course,
take what I say with a grain of salt. But.
He's married to Maya Rudolph. You know what I mean, and she's African American. I mean, he's not racist at all. I think he was, like you said, he's making fun of that. He's portraying the stupidity of that racism. And I mean, like I said, when we saw the scene, I laughed because I didn't expect that.
Yeah, it's completely unexpected.
It's out of nowhere, but it was funny. I'm sorry, and then someone called me racist for laughing at it because, like I said, it's not like he actually said, "Well, I'm racist, so I'm going to make fun." It's making fun of racists. But
I don't quite get it, and maybe I'm over exaggerating how big of a problem it was for some people, but I mean, there's some pretty big critics that were very critical of it. So
when I get home, I'm going to read all these things because I don't know. I don't understand, but yeah.
Well, what can you do? I don't know. I just that was the biggest thing I wanted to talk about that movie. I was just really curious.
Yeah, I didn't think it was racist.
Anyway, Licorice Pizza, go watch it. I mean, it got nominated for Best Picture. It's still in theaters right now.
It was nominated, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'm almost certain.
He needs to win.
I mean, I would love to see that happen, but I don't know. It's a pretty strong category this year. Let me look up the Oscar nominations, but there's some movies that I think definitely could have been left off, like Nightmare Alley. Yeah, Licorice Pizza definitely got nominated.
Good, yeah.
West Side Story is pretty good too, and Don't Look Up was. We could do a whole episode on that. I feel like.
I like To Look Up.
10 nominations is too much, but Nightmare Alley is a stinker. I'm sorry.
I just put in my queue of the weekend, and Gloriana said, "Is that supposed to be scary?" I said, "I don't know. I don't care."
It's not scary at all, and not that it's trying to be, but it's. I guess we can talk about Nightmare Alley real quick. I'll just talk. I'll kind of because I saw it in theaters. I saw the black and white version, which I actually liked a lot. It's a very beautiful looking film, and there's a lot of really terrific performances in it, including Bradley Cooper plays the lead. And Rooney Mara is pretty good as his kind of love interest, and a lot of good performances. A very technically well-made movie, and I understand why it would be nominated for awards, but it's a snooze fest, man. I was in the theater, and there was a point where I was just like, I'm so disconnected from this. I don't really care about anything that's happening, and then it ends, and it's like 2.5 hours long.
And then it ends.
It was rough. I don't understand, and I can't imagine seeing that like at home, like sitting and watching it. Like I saw it in a theater, so it was harder for me to leave.
Yeah, I get
But
you.
I've never wanted to walk out of. I mean, Guillermo, I don't know what happened. It just has no life, and maybe it's the black and white nature of the movie. Black and white, maybe that's it. Just literally had no color. No, I don't. I thought it was like I said, beautifully. Shot, but it's just not. I don't know.
Why did you have Don't Look Up on the list?
Do what?
You didn't have Don't Look Up on the list.
Oh, I'm just surprised it got nominated. A lot of people hate that film.
I liked it. Did you? Or you hated it?
I haven't seen it. You can review it real quick though if you want.
Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, I
know what it is, but I haven't seen it.
How many nominations? 10?
I think there were 10 Oscar nominees.
For
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
no,
8,
I thought
9,
you meant
10.
Like Don't Look Up got 10
nominations. No. There were 10 nominations for Best Picture this year. Nightmare Alley.
Yeah.
Ugh. Don't Look Up, which I haven't seen, but I've heard it's not worthy of an Oscar nomination for Best Picture.
True. No, not at all. But I liked it.
And then Dune, which is solid.
Yeah.
Very, very. Have you seen that yet?
No, I have not. Because it left so quick, and then it's not even back on HBO now.
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
We'll have to have you guys over or something to watch Dune, because Marissa still hasn't seen it. Drive My Car, I hear, is like a pretty strong contender.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that, though. It's foreign. I think do you know what country it is?
No, I do not. But I saw the trailer, yeah.
I haven't seen a trailer for it, but I'd really like to see that. And The Power of the Dog.
Power of the Dog, that's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. Yeah, it got released back in theaters for the Oscar run.
Okay.
So I'm hoping to try and catch it before.
That got great reviews.
Yeah, apparently it's really good. I started it and was like, I can't watch this at home. I need to go see this on the big screen.
Oh, okay, I got you.
I bet you Dune is back in theaters right now, though, too.
Oh yeah, for the Oscar nominations.
Might be. I mean, it's worth seeing the big screen. I think Dune is like a spectacle.
To watch on the big screen,
yeah. And then West Side Story, King Richard was kind of a surprise. I heard it was very, very good.
That's another
kind
one
of a surprising
we
nomination.
wanted to see. It came out in November, right around the holidays.
Yeah.
And then when I finally said, let's watch it, it was gone. So I was like, all right.
It played for like a week.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then Coda is on Apple TV. I thought about watching that.
Oh, Coda got nominated?
Yeah. I haven't seen that.
That we watched with Glow about 6 months ago. It was like, I liked it a lot. I love that actress, that young girl. I can forget her name. She's really good.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some good movies in there. I'm glad to see. The whole point of that was Licorice Pizza got nominated, and I'm glad to see that. But I don't know.
Yeah, and
we'll see.
Don't Look Up. Again, you named a bunch of films. Coda deserves that. Don't Look Up. I guess because there was so many big stars in it, they nominated for Best Picture. It was okay. It was funny. It was a dark comedy, and the ending was really nihilistic. But I liked the ending a lot. No one else, my family liked the ending, but I did.
Because the premise is that there's an asteroid about to hit Earth.
Correct. Yeah.
And nobody cares about it.
So it's more
other than Leo and...
Yeah, it's definitely more of a play on the Trump administration.
Okay.
Because Meryl Streep is basically Trump, and her son, Seth, what's his name?
Rogen?
Not Seth. Oh my God, the fat guy who gets fat and big.
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill is her son, who happens to be like the, and they're just very. It's just like it ends up being that, like they make fun of them. Like she's going through some type of she was like having an affair with some foreign dignitary, and they like don't give them the time. And of course, when she gets in trouble, when it finally gets connected back to her, then she wants to worry about it, and then even then, it's only so they can get the negative press off of them. It's really fun. Like when you see that, I think Adam McKay was more like, oh, I want to fuck with the whole Trump administration.
Yeah, just like he did with Vice or The Big Short. I mean, it's kind of that's in his right up his alley kind of political satire. But and I heard it was just like a comedy as well.
But it is. It's like a dark. Like I said, Timothy Chalamet's in it. Toward the end of the film, as some like skater punk, and Jennifer Lawrence, who I like that they portray as like this goth, I don't give a fuck type of character, but she's like the leading. If Leo is like the one who discovered it, she's like his intern, who then becomes like this big celebrity because she's the one who found it for its seed, and it's but it's fun to watch. And the ending, I thought, was really well done. I mean, I'm not giving away anything. I want you to watch it. We can talk about it next time. But I mean, Oscar like Best Picture, I don't know about that. Leo was good, though.
Both Vice and Big Short got nominated. Yeah. So, I mean, for Best Picture. So, I mean, he's known for having like
and they're both good movies, but... they didn't win. None of those.
No,
right?
No, they didn't. I mean, Big Short's very good. I think Vice is pretty good. But, yeah. So I don't know. I think
that's more because of Christian Bale's performance is really good. Yeah.
But yeah, I'll watch it at some point. We can talk about it more in depth. But yeah, I don't know. I was surprised to see that get nominated because I haven't heard good things about it. But what can you do?
Yeah. Right.
Next on the list, which I'm surprised at how few Oscars it got nominated for, is The Last Duel.
Yeah, talk about that.
Ridley Scott. Matt Damon is very good in it as a very unlikable lord. I don't know his title, but he like rules over like a small think like in Game of Thrones, like Winterfell. Like he's like the kind of not ruler, but he's definitely like a respected. Or he's not respected actually. People don't like him. That's the whole point of this movie, is that he's very unlikable and proud, but more prideful than anything. And then Adam Driver plays the kind of right hand man of the king, I believe, played by Ben Affleck. I don't know all the roles to this movie because it's been another month or so since I've seen this.
Yeah.
And essentially the premise of it is Matt Damon marries this woman, and she claims to have been raped by Adam Driver's character. It's based on a true story, and they go to court and end up dueling to the death for for her, like because of her, and it's told. What's interesting about the film is it's told in 3 different acts or 3 different parts. It's not really a 3-act structure. It's more nonlinear, but so it tells Matt Damon's perspective, and then it tells Adam Driver's perspective, and then it tells the truth.
It's like Rashomon.
Okay, I haven't seen that.
Okay.
But and then it tells her perspective.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Okay,
yeah. And I think that's the most interesting thing about the movie. The only complaint I have is that you do have to see the same story 3 times. And there's little nuances that what's interesting about it is those little nuances of you look like you just had an epiphany.
Because I was like, that is Rashomon, because Rashomon's about a woman who's raped, and you have this Lord type character, you have her, and then you have the rapist, and then you have those three stories.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
I wonder if it's a spirited sequel or of that, but I mean, it's a true story that happened.
See that, yeah. Okay.
And it was the Last Duel in France, I believe.
Okay.
I could be wrong on that. It's like I said, it's been a while since I've seen this, but we don't do any research for this podcast. Let's be real.
We got our phones here.
I know.
I'm definitely going to see that.
It's a little too long, but it's very well done, and the performances are all terrific. Obviously, from those, from that cast, you can expect that. And it's interesting to see something set so far in the past, post Me Too, like be still really relevant to the Me Too movement. I thought that was interesting. So I don't know. It's worth recommending. It's on HBO Max. So there's really no reason there's no excuse to not see it.
I have no excuse anymore.
As long as you got 2.5 hours to kill, it's I think it's a pretty impressive film, and another strong contender for Ridley Scott, or not contender, but another strong addition to. No, I don't think so.
Interesting.
I haven't pulled up still. Let me see.
I like Jodie Comer.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah, no.
In any of the, no, I mean, I'm sure it got nominated for like maybe costume design or something like that. But yeah, I don't see it anywhere on this list.
Sorry, Ridley Scott. They always like this guy. Power of the Dog. I want to see it.
Yeah, Power of the Dog, definitely.
House of Gucci.
I can't believe Don't Look Up got nominated for best screenplay. That's really surprising to me. Best visual effects. Yeah, it's not on. It didn't get nominated for anything.
Holy cow!
I mean, it kind of came and went, and then it got dumped on streaming.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of a bizarre release, but definitely a strong film. So
definitely want to watch it now that you say that. You've never seen Rashomon? I'm gonna spank you, bro. It's Akira Kurosawa. It's Rashomon, one of my favorites.
I have not gone down the Kurosawa rabbit hole yet.
Rabbit hole, I like that.
But yeah, The Last Duel, worth seeing.
Yeah, definitely got me interested in that.
Check it out. I think probably the strongest thing, other than Licorice Pizza, there's some good stuff on this list of things we need to talk about, but The Dark and the Wicked is really good.
So give me, because I've never heard of that. Like, looking at your list, it's the only one I've ever
You haven't even seen the trailer for it?
The Dark and the Wicked.
It was on Shudder. Shudder bought it, I believe, so it's like streaming specifically on Shudder now, unless you rent it. I actually found a Blu-ray copy of it at Half Price Books, and that's how I picked it up. It's the story of a family. It's the mom and dad. Dad's in a coma, and he's bedridden because of that. But he lives at home with this elderly woman. And then let me look up the cast real quick, or you can do that.
I'll do that.
Their son and daughter come home to kind of help take care of their mom and dad. Dad obviously being in a coma. Mom getting a lot older and starting to have some seeming psychological issues. And so the daughter and son come home, and daughter and son are like, they're in their 30s probably, so they're a little older. And essentially, without giving anything away, they come to think that there might be something haunting the home. So it's a straight horror film. And it's very tense. And it's like an hour and a half. It's directed by a guy who did The Strangers.
Okay. That's good.
He also did Monster.
Brian Bertino,
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's all set like in this house basically. But it's shot very well, and they live on a farm, so there's like some people that come help out, and there's a few more characters in that, but than what I just described. But it has one of the most clever. It's not a jump scare. It's like one of the most clever scares I've seen in a movie, like since Hereditary, I think.
Interesting.
It involves lipstick, is all I'll say. I was really impressed by it. It's stuck with me ever since. I think it's like such a creepy, kind of darkly comedic moment that is really wonderful. And like I said, I don't want to give too much away, but it's a movie that really stuck with me. It's a movie like The Strangers or any of his films it's definitely a downer of a movie. And I don't know. It just left me stunned for, the next few days. I was thinking like I left it out on my, my coffee table, and I just kept like looking at it and go, because it's got a great cover.
I like that poster.
Yeah. The poster's great. Yeah. That's the same cover as the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
It's like red, and there's like a woman. It has like some really creepy imagery and some just terrific scares. I think it's really solid.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to say too much more about it.
Yeah, definitely.
If you see it, we'll talk about it more.
I didn't know that was Brian Bertino.
Yeah,
and it's on AMC Plus. Yeah, Shudder. Yeah,
that's The Dark and the Wicked.
Yeah, definitely gonna check that out too, bro.
Man, we have a ton of movies. Jackass will be quick. Jackass Forever.
Jackass. Yeah.
Is the latest in the Jackass trilogy, right? There's 3 movies. How many movies are there?
So
there's a show.
There's officially, it was the TV show, which lasted a season. Believe it or not, we were just watching, and it's a season.
That's it?
Yeah, but it's like, I thought it was like 100 years. Then they did 3 official films, like long form, an hour and a half each. But then they did the outtakes made films. So they actually released it. So Jackass 1, then there's Jackass 2, and then there's Jackass 2.5.
Oh, okay.
That was actually released in theaters, then 3D, and then 3.5. That was released in theaters, and then 4, 17 years later, 15 years later.
Yeah, because they've been doing it for 30 years, I think, or 20 years.
It started in the late 90s, so 20,
yeah. They talk about that in the movie, but what I like about, I mean, you know what it is. I don't need to go into there's no plot. It's just them doing, stunts and shit. But it's what I like about it a lot is that it doesn't. So one of the movies that's not on this list, but that we've never talked about is Bad Trip with Eric Andre.
Okay.
It was on Netflix, I believe.
We talked about it. Yeah, we did talk about it.
Did we talk about it?
Yeah.
Which is a fun movie, but I think it suffers from trying to have a plot.
Yeah.
Because it's really just a setup for these like pranks.
Yeah.
And the sketches and stuff like that. And it works. I mean, it's a fun movie, but it kind of plays in like, it's similar to Borat. Just kind of has the same structure as that. Jackass doesn't try and be anything more than it is.
It is, yeah.
And that's what I like about it. It's it's unbelievable, some of the stuff that happens in this movie. I mean, like Steve-O puts a bunch of bees on his dick, and it's like, there's some stuff in it that's really hard to watch. But it's fun. I had a good time at the theater, more fun than I thought it would be.
Yeah, good.
Marissa wanted to see it, so we went and watched it yesterday, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, go watch Jackass. It's worth checking out.
I've never pegged Marissa for being a Jackass fan.
Yeah, huge Jackass fan.
Are you?
Marissa.
No, but are you?
I mean, I like it, but it's not it's not my thing. I mean, it's not like a thing that I seak out. I don't think I've seen all the
Jackass.
movies.
Yeah, you got to. I don't know if you have Paramount Plus. They're only on Paramount Plus, but yeah, we watch them all, and damn the things they do, man. I can't. And then now they're in their 40s and 50s, right?
Yeah.
I can't believe
they still look pretty good considering all they've been through. I mean,
serious, Steve-O.
But what's his name? Not Steve-O, but the other one, Johnny Knoxville. Apparently, like he got hospitalized for one of the stunts in this movie, and like fucked up his brain or something, and like the doctors were like, "You can't do this anymore." So we'll see if I doubt we'll see another one. Is all I'll say.
No, definitely.
But I do think it's a good send off for this, these guys, and it seems like they had a lot of fun making it, which is just kind of contagious. It's fun to watch because it's just a bunch of friends hanging out and doing stupid stuff. Yeah. So yeah, go see it. It's worth seeing.
Definitely.
And then I'll do Come On real quick because I can't get into. There's not really a spoiler. This isn't a spoiler movie. It's essentially the premise of Come On is Joaquin Phoenix plays the brother of she's in Girls. I'm going blank on her name. Please look that up. She marries. You haven't seen Girls, have you?
No, I've seen some. I've never sat down and watched the whole thing, but
Gabby Hoffman, I think.
Gabby Hoffman,
Yeah, Gabby Hoffman. So Gabby Hoffman's husband, played by Scoot McNairy, is bipolar, and they're separated. I believe he lives like in a different city, and they have a child together who lives with Gabby Hoffman.
Yeah.
And Scoot McNairy is going through a manic episode, and Gabby Hoffman goes to take care of him, and Joaquin Phoenix, her brother, takes care of the kid,
The son,
and brings him with him back to New York where he lives. He records interviews. I think he's either a sound recordist or a videographer of some kind. But he's like recording interviews of kids, like talking about life and just kind of what it means to be alive, basically. And there's some really wonderful moments with that premise.
Yeah.
But him and Joaquin Phoenix, it's not your traditional, like, they hate each other and then they come together and then they like each other. Like, it has, I mean, they definitely grow to love one another, this kid and Joaquin Phoenix, but it's just I think it's the best film of the year. Maybe other than, there's a few other really strong contenders this year, but
was it nominated?
I didn't get nominated for like anything.
Yeah.
But it was a small release, independent film, and Joaquin Phoenix is, upset the Academy enough. I'm not surprised. But it's, I don't know, the dynamics between all these characters, and they're very grounded, and I think it has a very childish perspective on life, and I mean that in like it kind of has like a pure outlook on what it means to be alive and what it means, like what the future holds, and it's also interesting to see like kids' perspectives on kind of what the future looks like for America and whatnot, and
interesting.
But it's
is it
delightful.
Black and white?
It is, I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
It's shot very well. It looks really nice. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about it. But I saw it like 6 months ago, but it's really stuck with me, and I think it's one of the stronger films of last year.
Hey, I'm looking at Mike Mills's filmography. He's been around a while, but nothing big. Well,
he's kind of an indie filmmaker.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, go check out Come On.
Come on.
I think anybody could like this movie. I think that's why I was surprised that it didn't get nominated, because it did very well critically, and and it just, I don't know, it just kind of, I guess maybe it was released at a time of year where none of the Oscar people saw it. I don't quite know, but I mean the performances are terrific, and it's such a wonderful movie. I don't know. I just think it's
really good. Let me see when the release date was. It says November.
Was it really not? Yeah. I thought it was. That's more recent than I thought.
You said 6 months ago, and I'm like, was it in August?
I mean, it's been 4 months, I guess.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, go check it out. It's. I don't even know where it's available. It's probably you have to rent it.
It's Amazon Prime Video, yeah.
But I'll probably buy it. I think it's really good.
Yeah. What's next, man?
I'm gonna let you do this one. I'll talk about it obviously, but Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Spider-Man: No Way. Genius. I mean, you know what I'm saying.
We're gonna go full spoilers with this. So if you haven't seen it,
if you haven't seen it, go see it. It's ridiculous you haven't seen it. I actually did love this film, and again, with me real quick, I love all the MCU movies, even the bad ones, except for Eternals. And
oh really?
Yeah, that's another one we didn't. But you didn't see that either, right?
I didn't care for it.
Yeah, don't bother. But what I liked about this film was if Endgame was the culmination of all 21 films, this is, interestingly enough, the beginning of something bigger and better. I mean, for all the fanboys who go see these movies and get mad like I did, like, oh, continuity's thrown out the window, this is nothing like the comic books. This is, interestingly enough, a way to say, okay, well, I mean, we can't do that now because we fucked up, but, we can go there now. And I loved the whole multiverse for the smallness of what it is. Doctor Strange is going to be insane.
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
Oh man, yeah, and you already know, like.
And I wasn't a big fan of the first one, but
Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
it's funny because I think
I was just burned out by the time that came out, and
Rhonda got free tickets and we saw it, and I mean, I was surprised. I thought it was going to be a snooze fest, but it was actually better than I expected. But this new one, being that it has all the stuff from 2016 till now, and you have all these characters. Scarlet Witch is in it. Again, there's a lot of leaks. Nothing's been. But the newest trailer, I'm going into that anyway.
You're talking about Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I know. I keep moving to Doctor Strange because I'm excited. But yeah. Bottom line is that this is the continuation of Far From Home. Peter Parker was ratted out by Mysterio, and he goes to Doctor Strange to get him to have everyone forget about that he was Peter Parker, that Spider-Man, but while this spell is being done, he realizes that he doesn't want Zendaya, Mary Jane to forget, and of course, oh my God, what's Ned? He doesn't want. So with that, he messes up the spell kind of, and everybody who, everyone from the other Sony films, the original Spider-Mans and the Amazing Spider-Mans, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, those villains come through because they know of Spider-Man. So we get this really cool adventure where all the other films are referenced and brought into the MCU universe. And of course, we get to see all the web slingers together, which I thought was an amazing scene when they're working on how to do it. And that's basically the whole story. In wanting people to forget he was Peter Parker, he ends up, messing a lot of things up, and that's really it. But I mean, I think that the excitement was, that you see all these characters come together, and even though we knew, though people were saying it wasn't true, it was just still amazing to see them come through into the MCU. So, including William Dafoe, who was amazing.
Very good.
And
I forget how good he is as King
yeah,
Alvin.
right. And it's like he was kind of subtle too. I like that subtle that he did. And then he goes big. Oh my God, William Dafoe's such a great actor. But his Green Goblin was amazing.
Speaking of Willem Dafoe, have you seen the trailer for The Northman?
Yeah.
He looks insane in that movie.
Does.
I can't wait.
I want to see
that
that
movie
too.
looks fucking awesome.
It does, definitely.
Not to interrupt.
But no, go ahead. You saw it.
Yeah, I saw it in theaters the first day it came out.
The first day.
The first weekend or something that came out. I really like it a lot. I mean, I think it's obviously from, I think Tom Holland is a great Peter Parker.
Yeah, he's the best one.
And this was, I think my least favorite, though, of the trilogy, and not because I think it's a bad film by any means. I think it's very good, and I think it has the best premise of all three of them. Yeah. But I miss more of that, like Tom Holland. Like it's definitely grounded in its premise, like the entire film, because there's not, like you said, the premise is very good, but then I don't really think they know where to go with the premise. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I like the idea of like trying to fix the villains. And I like the idea of them having to work together to fight the villains. Like, I like all that. And like, it has like the kind of the beats that need to be in this movie. But I miss some of the interaction between like Zendaya's character and what's his name? His like sidekick. Ned. I just love Ned. I love all the high school kids. Like all the supporting cast from all of these Tom Holland Spider-Mans. And I miss some of that. Like I miss some of that interaction that you get from Homecoming and Far From Home, right?
Yeah.
But I still like it a lot. I mean, I had a good time, and I think it was great to see. Like, I think the best part is like seeing, because I grew up on Sam Raimi's Spider-Mans. I mean, those were. I never really cared for the Andrew Garfield stuff. I thought he was good as Spider-Man, but like Peter Parker, like Sam Raimi's Spider-Mans were like really important to my. I don't know that I'd say I was a huge fan of them necessarily, but they were around, and I was just growing up with them. It was cool to see like Doc come back. Like that was like a really, and I'd seen it in the trailer, but it was still like that's a really exciting moment. And so it's filled with these moments that are like certainly fan service, but they're really exciting and they're really fun. But I think the story of the film is the weakest part of it, in my opinion. And it's not the premise. I think the premise is very good, but like after we get everybody together, it was just kind of like we're just gonna wrap it up. and kind of I don't know. It just wasn't as solid as some of the like the Mysterio reveal, which I thought was wonderful.
Because I think I see what you're saying, and then you have these more personal stories, and then even with Beck, Mysterio, Jake Gyllenhaal's character. You see this Iron Man like relationship starting, and he's starting. So I see what you're saying there. With this, you have like almost, which was the curse of Spider-Man 3. You have too many people in there
in order to have like enough of a kind of a human story to it.
Yeah. So I think that's where
minor problem. Yeah, no. Yeah,
I'm
going to be totally honest, but I still had a lot of fun with it, and I think it's the best premise, the most exciting premise of any Marvel film. Like I think like just the idea of being able to bring all these people in and just kind of break all the rules is really fun. It's also this is a minor nitpick, but it's also weird. It kind of annoys me in movies where like the main characters make mistakes that like he messes up the spell.
Yeah.
And that's why it all happens.
Exactly.
And it's like it's fun, but it's like it's just kind of ridiculous. Just to watch a character just make a mistake and then it like that's the foundation for your entire film. I don't know. It's but it's very good, and it's definitely a spectacle. It just wasn't something I needed to see again.
Yeah.
You know, and people were talking about like Best Picture, and it's like not not that.
Was it nominated?
Yeah. Because it broke records, and it brought back the blockbuster during the pandemic, and that's exciting to see. And I think
I agree with that. I mean, not to downplay the COVID, but I miss going to the theater. I mean, and it's like I want to go more. Like when I went with Rhonda to see Licorice Pizza, I dug that more than Spider-Man because I bring all the kids and it's crowded and it's crazy. I dig just chilling at a theater, watching a good movie, and then afterward talk about it, And so I do look forward to going and seeing a bunch of movies this year. I always say that, but I do. But yeah, no, that's Spider-Man No Way Home. And like I said, leads into the Multiverse of Madness, which I'm really excited about. Just to throw that in, we already know what's his name is in it. Patrick Stewart. You don't see trailers.
I've only seen part of the trailer because it played during the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, yeah.
And I think we turned it on like right in the middle of it or something. So, and I don't really. I'll go see it probably because I think it looks. What I saw looked good.
Yeah, like I said, and here's one thing which I know we didn't really discuss, but the rumors of which all came true for No Way Home. What's his name? Tom Cruise playing Tony Stark in this Illuminati scene where you hear Patrick Stewart, Dr. Xavier, Professor X, which, we know that this movie is going to bring in the mutants. And again, I think that's cool because, Tom Cruise was approached in the early 2000s to play Iron Man. He didn't. So to have him in the movie playing Iron Man, I think is genius. John Krasinski, I know people are rooting for him to do Mr. Fantastic, who's part of the Illuminati, and that would be really cool. But he also was offered the part of Captain America before Chris Evans, and he turned it down because he saw Chris Evans, and he was like, "Yeah, no, I can't compete." And that's another thing I would love to see him playing Captain America in here too. But yeah, I'm really excited. I think being a fanboy and a geek and a comic, I really am looking forward to Doctor Strange to see all these little fan service as you mentioned, So, but yeah. So
that's it for the movies. Did you want to talk about TV or we're at an hour?
No, and I got to pick up a Glow at 8, but I do have to say because I know we sometimes do talk about film on television with our films, but I do want to say this: Yellowjackets on Showtime. And before I leave, make sure I give you the information to get out to Hulu so you can see Yellowjackets. It's my favorite TV show in a long time. I've
heard great things.
Oh my God, it's like, and the first obvious, it's Lord of the Flies with girls, but it's also a mixture of like Lost and Twin Peaks and Midsommar. It's really, really well done, and they also go back and forth in time, and all the actresses who as adults, oh my God, it's like you can, they look exactly like each other as young teenagers. The casting's amazing. I don't like Juliette Lewis as much because her character as a young girl is cute. I don't think Juliette Lewis is attractive at all.
Jeez. But
again, if without giving away spoilers, what she becomes later on, you can say, oh yeah, all right. If you want to say that, yeah, you can see how that's her evolved. But it's just really, really good. And Christina Ricci, and again, I mean, everyone loves her. She's the breakout star of this. And it's like almost like Urkel or Fonzie. I mean, I like that she's getting back, she's getting praise. Her character drives me crazy. It's like she's the most hated character, but she's now like, and it's just really good. It's like, the mystery. I mean, I'm pretty sure you'll catch on as you watch it. I was calling it as we were going along, and then at the last episode, which was an amazing cliffhanger. That's why I want the show to come back, and I hope it does. But it's just, you got to check it out. It's really good. It's like if Lord of the Flies was done by Sam Raimi or a horror director. It's like it's really, really well done. And I don't know what else to say. It's just, I'm really in love with this show. It's like so definitely check out Yellowjackets on Showtime.
We're watching it tonight.
Yeah.
We just finished up all our shows, so we're like caught up on everything.
Yeah, what Marissa would think. Yeah, because like I said, it's like I don't want to sound like sexist. It's like, going into it, because Rhonda likes shows with girls and, moon pies and penny whistles. And I think that's why she wanted to see it. I wanted to see it because the image in the trailer with that, Midsommar type scenes and really scary, creepy shit. So I said, let me see. But it's like, really, I want to hear what she thinks, because it's like I said, it is very female centric, but it's so universal. The story's so well done that you just get hooked on. After that first episode, you get hooked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the best. Like, any pilot has to give you that hook for you to say, I'm going to keep watching, and that's one of them.
Yeah. I'll definitely. We might start watching it tonight.
Yeah, watch it tonight. Tell me, man.
We were caught up on. Well, one of the other things on the list was Midnight Mass, which you said you didn't like.
Yeah, no. I started watching, and Gloriana. Gloriana's like, she doesn't dig slow burns.
Yeah, and it is a slow burn.
It's a very slow burn, and she was like, so after the first 2 episodes, she was like, I can't do this right now. Let's watch Game of Thrones. I'm like, okay. So we started watching Game of Thrones, and now we're like almost done with that. I'm hoping she goes back. I mean, I wanted to sneak it and watch it behind her back, but then I feel guilty, because then if she does get back into it, like, she's going to see that I'm like kind of distracted because I saw it. But I definitely do want to see it. And Mike Flanagan, I mean, I love everything he does.
Yeah.
So,
no, I'm a fan. I just wanted to say that I like it a lot.
Did you like the ending? Because I heard a lot of people had a problem.
No, not at all. I think the last episodes are really bad, but it earns everything that happens in the last episode, and I think the last episode's a fucking mess. But I think it's still worth watching, because I think episode like 4, 5, and I think it's 7 episodes total. 4, 5, and 6 are like lights out, really solid television. I mean, it's like, especially for horror fans. I mean, it gets crazy, and I think it's pretty wonderful. But it is a slow burn to start. But I think I've seen it twice now. I didn't actually finish it the second time watching it. My parents were watching it. I showed it to them, and they loved it all the way through. Like, they really liked it a lot. So I think it has like kind of universal appeal, especially towards the end. Like, I think it gets better as it goes. But I don't want to spoil a single thing about it, because I think it's delightful not knowing anything about it going in. The Red Letter Media did a review of it, and they were talking about all the monologues in it. They were making fun of the fact that people were complaining about the monologues, and I was like, there's a lot, and some of them are pretty cringe-inducing. But stick with it, because it's worth watching. That's all I'm going to say. Did
you saw the others, right? The Bly Manor and Hill House.
Yeah, I've seen both.
So which one do you put it?
Haunting of Hill House was probably Midnight Mass, I think, is, I don't know. Midnight Mass and Haunting of Hill House, I didn't like Bly Manor all that much.
You didn't like
There's some decent moments in it, but Haunting of Hill House is really strong, though, too. I don't know. I'd have to revisit Haunting of Hill House now, but I think those are both really, really strong shows. I definitely like people talk about how Netflix doesn't have enough content, and I think Midnight Mass is a perfect example of like really strong original content that isn't perfect, but it's going for something really bizarre. There's this great kind of conflict of religion in the show that's really interesting, especially as it goes on, kind of what people would do in a circumstance like, because it's about a church in a small town on an island. And I think there's some really great kind of philosophical discussion in the show. Yeah. And I feel like TV doesn't get to do that as often as I'd like it to. Like True Detective is the last thing I can think of that, it kind of goes into religion and kind of nihilism and stuff like that. And this is, I don't know, there's some really great, I don't know how far you've gotten. You said 2 episodes?
2 episodes, yeah.
Has he gone to AA yet?
No.
Okay. Yeah, there's a great scene with that. And that's not spoiling anything. There's a sequence in it where him and the pastor kind of go back and forth for a long time. That's really great.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. I think it's a really strong show, and I would love to see more of this kind of stuff. It's very slick and very stylish, and there's some bad old people makeup in it, but it's for a reason. I think it works, but there's definitely, like, Marissa was like, "Ooh, this looks bad." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's fair." But she liked it a lot too. So
yeah.
And then the last thing on our list is Landscapers, which I think is just lights out. Some of the best TV I've seen in a long time.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know what it's about?
Yeah. I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, this looks really good. So,
for the people that don't know, it's Olivia Colman and I forget his name. He was he voiced. We watched Anna Melissa, and he was the voice of the lead in that.
He's from Harry Potter.
He's been in a ton of stuff, like, and he looks nothing like he does in any of those other movies in the show.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But essentially, for those that don't know, it's a show it's based on a true story about a couple that gets in. The show opens with they were convicted for 25 years for murder.
David Thewlis. Yeah.
Yeah. So the show opens with they were convicted for 25 years of murder, and then that's where it starts, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's the whole time question that they still to this day believe that, or have told people that what they did was it opens with they were convicted for 25 years of murder, but they still claim their innocence.
Yeah.
And it's Olivia Colman in this, and what did you say is
David Thewlis.
They're accused of murdering their parents. Or her parents, in real life, in the show, they're convicted of murdering them and burying them in the backyard.
Yeah,
and that's the premise, and that's where it starts, and that's where, and again, what's interesting about it is it's taking this like murder mystery, but kind of flipping on its head. And there's some really amazing performances in it. Like Olivia Colman is just, she's great in everything. But oh my goodness, like this is like Chernobyl level TV. I think it's just produced at such a high level of. I mean, it's a HBO miniseries. That's usually the best it gets as far as TV goes, and I just think it's delightful. So I think more people should see it and more people should talk about it because it's only 4 episodes. It's like you could watch it in an evening.
Yeah, one night, yeah.
So, but anyway.
I definitely want to watch that.
Landscapers is fantastic. I loved every second of it. So,
yeah.
But anyway, that's it for our show.
Yeah, for episode 44.
Mm-hmm. I don't know when we'll do this again.
I was going to say, hopefully
could be 2 weeks, could be 6 months, who knows?
A year from now, but
we'll try and do it sooner than 6 months. But
yeah,
we just who knows?
Yeah,
we're busy. Busy people.
We're busy. But yeah, all right. Well, we didn't even introduce ourselves at the beginning. We just jumped right in. But for episode 44 of Indecisive Cinema, I'm Carlos Hernandez.
I'm Jeremy Knight.
And we'll see you on the next one. You take care. Bye.